Hello once again.
Hey guys.
Loyal Void.
Hey.
It is Soundcheck, episode 5.
4 or 5?
I think it's 5.
Okay.
But if we're being honest, it feels more like episode like 6,
Yeah.
7 or something. But it is I, your loyal, supportive, kind in every way co-host, John, otherwise known as lifestyle editor for the Collegian. Who am I joined by today?
My name is Taylor, also known as 5'10", baddie, face card, never declines, tiny waist.
Right.
Just a nickname. I don't know if you want to call me that, maybe.
That's what the streets call her, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we have some allegations to address at the beginning of this episode. We did miss a week.
Oh, awkward.
However, I need to say it is a direct result of sabotage from the Collegian Cooldown.
Sabotage.
They were like in Vegas or whatever, covering conference stuff. Who knows?
Whatever
But
the
yeah,
hell that
whatever.
is.
And the man himself, Playboy Cardi, has dropped. However,
We're not going to be talking about that
we
today.
are not going to be talking about that today. That is next week.
Ooh. Teaser.
Yeah, a little teaser. 30 tracks is a lot. I'm still digesting. There's a lot to.
I'm ready.
Okay, well.
Hold me back. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So there's a lot to say for sure. We will be having some special guests.
Yeah.
Next episode, we're gonna have a Cardi Council.
Cardi Council.
Yeah,
meeting.
that's what the streets are calling it. So. Should we reveal the guests or wait?
I think we should wait.
Okay, special guests. But yeah, today.
TBD.
This episode that we're recording would have been last week's.
Yeah.
Before again, sabotage by Collegian Cooldown. This is a direct call out.
1v1.
Yeah. Also, our studio setup is now completely off. The lighting's off, positioning's off. We're zoomed out. It's just like, it's all Collegian Cooldown. So take it up with them.
They
Hate comments.
cursed us. They put a curse on us. So
Yeah, they've hexed us.
their next episode, just leave
Everybody
a bunch of hate
downvote.
comments.
Everybody downvote
Downvote.
Collegian Cooldown. But yeah, so today we're gonna be putting you on to upcoming shoegaze band Glixen. Woo! From Phoenix, Arizona.
I was actually really excited because I don't listen to shoegaze. Like, it's not my cup of tea. Like, it's not my first choice. So when you sent me this album and like asked to like go through it and kind of dissect it, I was so excited. So, and like I liked it too. It was
Let's
yeah,
go.
it was
To
really
put
good.
confetti,
Yeah.
children cheering. But yeah, I think we'll get started. We'll warm up with our 3 songs of the week in rotation. Okay, let's pull up the notes. It's time to get serious. Okay.
You go first.
Got you. My first song is Thank You by Claro off the recent album, of course. That song, I don't know. I don't even know. I listened to the whole album, loved it, and I just like kind of forgot about this one, and somehow I ended up listening to it again, and I was like, wow, I love this song. Like, the beat is so fun and hoppy and joyful. It reminds me specifically, this is kind of niche, but it reminds me of songs that my grandma listens to, like old, kind of like vintage, like Spanish songs, like pop kind of Spanish songs. Like, the instrumental reminds me a lot of that. Specifically, like on the chorus, the piano goes like, bow, 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 bow. Like, I can just imagine like a Spanish-speaking woman like singing over it, and it's just like very fun. But Claro killed that sound and that aesthetic, and it's so fun. Love that song off the album.
Which album is it?
Why am I forgetting the name of it?
Is it the one?
Like the newest album?
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but
Two,
I don't know the name.
Two, throw it up.
I don't know what
I'm
the name of it
blanking
is.
so
I
hard, but
forgot.
the album was great.
Sexy to
So,
somebody.
Yeah, that song
okay.
was on there. But yeah, damn, I can't believe I forgot the name. But
Damn,
that
I
album.
forgot.
Damn, I forgot. But yeah.
Okay, my number 1 is Drive by SZA. I really like SOS, but when she came out with the SOS Deluxe, I was really excited because I can just always use some more SZA in my life. Like, I love her.
Right.
And I feel like I've been recently kind of realizing how much I actually love her. But yeah, when Lana came out, I was so excited. And I feel like all the songs on that album kind of like have the same vibe, I think. And Drive was the one that like came out. What is that actor's name? I forgot. He's in The Severance. I forgot that actor's name.
Kieran Culkin?
Is that his name?
Like, oh wait, in Severance, no. I was thinking
He plays Zoolander.
Succession.
He plays Zoolander.
Ben Stiller?
Yes.
Wait, is he in
Wait,
Severance?
Is it?
Wait, okay, I'm watching
don't
through
know.
Severance, so I can't confirm.
I don't know.
Chad, did Taylor just spoil Severance for me? Let me know. Actually, don't let me know. I don't want to know.
But yeah, the music video came out and he was like singing in the car to it. And I kind of knew right away that I would like it, but I was really excited for it to come out. And that one is just a really nice, like driving song. I just love that song, and I love her vocals on it. So yeah, my bad if I just. No.
Yeah, rest in peace to Heaven Surrounds You by Surf Curse. I will never listen to that album again.
Damn.
Okay, but hold on. This is gonna eat at me. By Zoolander, are you talking like also the same guy who's in Night at the Museum, like the Night at the Museum guy?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's Ben Stiller.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he's in Severance or not. I've only watched one episode so far.
I think he is in Severance then.
Spoilers.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Whoops.
Okay, my second song that has been on rotation, in my rotation, is Handsome Beautiful by Everyone Asked About You. This was the second like album that I sent you when we were discussing this episode.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't researched this band. I don't know what their deal is, but their like last album was from 1997 or something like that. And then the album I sent you is from 2023. So I'm like,
so they're old
what the
heads.
heck happened? Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. To be determined. But this specific song, Handsome Beautiful, is just like so good. The whole album is like it's like post rock. Kind of it isn't math rock, and like it's not like Midwesty, but it has like those kind of Midwest qualities of like really dissonant, strange sounding chords and like guitar leads, which is like the definition of like post rock. So very cool post rock album. The past few months I've been listening a lot to this band called Slint, and they're like credited for like being the creators of like post rock, basically inventing the genre. And so this album sounds a lot like Slint, which is cool. Because Slint is also from the 90s, and they only have like 2 albums.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's like,
that's what I was gonna say is how like when was their first album?
yeah, like early 90s or late 90s, somewhere in that decade. But yeah, they only have like 2 or 3 albums, I think. So there's only so much you can listen to. So this album is like more post rock content of like a similar vein. But yeah, Handsome Beautiful is like a very cool, trippy song.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
My number 2 is Your Power by Billie Eilish. This is off of Happier Than Ever, and I will never, ever forgive you guys for hating that album.
She's holding you all accountable.
I'm holding you all hostage and accountable. I've been here since her first EP, and that album was like the most hated because it was like her blonde era. She like completely bleached her hair. She was with that one guy. Who is that guy? Jesse Rutherford. Which,
let's not speak on it.
Fuck him. But like, whatever.
Yeah. Also, I just need to interject.
Yeah.
Everybody knew this was gonna happen,
Yeah.
but all of the interviews where she's talking about Jesse Rutherford, like my man, we all knew exactly where that was
she
going.
learned her lesson too.
Yeah,
and
so-
like I just hate when I see girls do that because I'm like, no, like just come on, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, that like for that Vanity Fair, I think it is the thing where she does it like every year, and she was like,
yeah.
I pulled his ass.
I bagged him or whatever, and then she's like begging the producers to clap for her, like, throw the clip up right now.
Yeah.
I not only was known by a person that I thought was the hottest fucking fucker alive, but pulled his ass. Can we just round of applause for me? Thank you.
And put the wow.
That was so bad, but like that era, I love this album so much. And yeah, Your Power is just like beautiful. Every time I hear it, my heart sinks, and I love songs like that. I love songs that just make me want to like kind of like die inside. Like it just hurts me to listen to it. Love it. But yeah, her vocals in this song are literally unmatched. I don't think I've heard a song with like this amount of vocal in it. I feel like this is like the only song that she really, and like Male Fantasy, you know, but Haley's Comet. Those are like the big 3. But Your Power is just like hits me every single time. I love it.
You gotta love the contrast from last episode. Happy songs, we
Yeah.
are right back on it.
Yeah,
Happier than
I
ever.
skipped therapy last week, so I think that's why I've been
Damn.
doing my sad
see.
music.
Yeah, okay, funny enough, this is the Daft Punk album. You know the one, but I forgot to write it down in my notes. But I was like, what the heck is literally the album right there? But Something About Us by Daft Punk. That song is so fun. It's like smooth, jazzy, cheeky, romantical, and I just love like the vocals on it. They're so playful and fun. It's like, I might not be the right one. All auto-tune and stuff, of course. But such a fun track.
What kind of music do they do?
Daft Punk?
Yeah, like
It's like electronic music, not quite like EDM, you know what I mean? It's not like pump you up, but it's like it's like just electronic, like a lot of like like synths and like
okay.
they do like like what's it called? A vocoder and like the auto tuning, you know, so their lyrics are like woo, like kind of crazy, but
that's cool.
yeah, like okay, you know the intro of like 24 Karat Magic where it's like that I
Oh,
just
yeah.
wanna take. It's
Yeah.
like kind of like that. Yeah. Or like on Stronger, like the hold up burger. That's like
Oh,
a
okay.
sample of one of their songs. So it's like that kind of
Oh.
vibe. But this song like slows it down, and it's like a fun little like romantical jam. But
I've always heard of them, but I've never like.
yeah, you gotta get into.
Yeah.
You would love them. You're the house
I was gonna
girl,
say,
certified
yeah.
house girl. So this should be your jam.
House
I think you should check it
princess.
out.
Yeah.
House princess, crazy. But yeah, that's my third.
My third is Shut Me Down. Or no, is. Oh my god, I was gonna. No. My third is Rather Lie by Cardi and The Weeknd.
Yeah.
I was gonna
I
spoil.
rather lie to lose
Yeah,
you.
I was gonna spoil the album that we're gonna review today, but no, it's Rather Lie by Cardi and The Weeknd. I'm not gonna say too much about this album because I'll hold it for next week when I
We're
have some
holding
support
space.
on my side.
It's gonna be a fucking hostile environment
it's
in
gonna
the
be
studio
really
next
hostile.
week.
We're gonna need a mediator. You know, it's a
Honestly,
lot.
deadass, we need Val in here. We
Yeah.
need our fucking editor in
We need a
chief to keep
timer,
us
like,
safe.
1 minute for everything.
We'll keep it in the middle, like when the turns are over.
But yeah, Rather Lie. I just love this song. When it played in Rolling Loud Miami, he like played that song, and I remember immediately I was watching the live stream, and immediately I was hooked to this song. I loved it, and then I would listen to it like on SoundCloud, and it sounded like it was like out of a toaster.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. This is the song that we were literally talking about,
Yeah.
right? Like last episode or a
Yep.
couple episodes ago. Yeah. When I
Yeah.
heard it, I literally like told Caitlin, I was like, "Wait, what the heck?" I was like, "We were just talking about this song."
Yeah, it literally sounded like it was out of a toaster. I would listen to it like on my way to work, and I wouldn't be able to listen to the lyrics because I didn't know what he was saying because it was
Yeah.
like. And everyone
Yeah.
in the crowd was like, yeah. So, but it's like after hearing the lyrics, I just kind of, oh my god. And then the back to back. That's all. I'm gonna stop. I'm saving it for next week.
Save space.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Keeping
that's our
space.
3. Are we ready to kind of dive into
Yeah,
it?
let's do it.
Okay, so I'll kind of start us off. I really went full like archive searching mode. Not really, but I did some light research to kind of give us a little intro here. So, yeah, Glixen. Oh, also, first off, I was going to say it in the beginning of the episode, but I would like to dedicate this entire episode to Aura Paradia, one of our reporters / contributors / founder of our literature column,
Yep.
Recollections of Being. Last episode, she literally messaged me and was like, "Oh my god, like you listen to Glixen," like when I had it in my rotation, and that's actually what inspired me to reach out to you and be like, "Yo, can we do like a focus on this?" So shout out Aura. I hope I
God, hey,
pronounced.
Aura girl.
Yeah, I hope I pronounced your last name right. I've never actually asked you like how to pronounce it. That's just how I've always said it in my head.
Yeah.
So it's factual. That's how it's pronounced now. But yeah, shout out to you. This episode is dedicated to you,
Oh my
inspired
gosh,
by you.
I did
So
not know that. That's
yeah.
so exciting.
so shout out, and I know she's gonna see this too.
Yeah,
so
because she's
yeah.
avid.
Yeah, I'll expect a
her.
message on my phone sometime over the weekend. But yeah, so anyways, Glixen, they are a 4-piece band from Phoenix, Arizona. We've got, let's see, on lead vocals, they have some very interesting names. So sorry if I butcher these, but Eileen Ritchie or Aislinn, something like that. But she's our lead guitarist and vocalist. Backup guitarist, we have Esteban Santana. Bassist, Sonia Garcia. And drums by Carrie Johnson. Carrie? Something.
Something.
But yeah, drummer's incredible. Let's just get that out the way. But yeah, they've been doing their thing. They formed in 2020, so they've only been at it for like 5 years. And it's kind of crazy that they're at where they're at already, getting closer by the day to like 100K monthly listeners on Spotify. So still kind of niche, I did my thing. But they're very cool. Yeah, and something that sticks out to me about them specifically is that they're all like people of color. I don't know 100% their ethnicities. I'm not going to speculate on it, but I'm pretty confident in saying that most of them are of Latina origin. The drummer is a black man, and it's just cool because a lot of the greats, especially the ones they're influenced by, we'll get into it in a bit, but shoegaze, at least the greats, like you think of My Bloody Valentine, they're from Ireland. Slow Dive is from England, so it's always been like kind of white European centric. So it's like refreshing to see a group of young people of color like really carving a space in the genre. So that's kind of like why I wanted to highlight them too, but also just because they sound very vintage, and we'll get into that. But yeah, so Quiet Pleasures is their most recent EP. You gave it a listen. Is this your first like real experience with shoegaze, or okay, break it down for me. What was the experience like?
I don't know if like what would Deftones be considered?
Yeah, so Deftones typically, I guess in a general sense, they're considered like new metal, I guess, but a lot of their songs are very like shoegaze influenced, like especially like stuff like what is it called? I'm exposing myself. Is it Rose Waves or what the fuck is that song called?
Yeah, Cherry Waves.
Cherry Waves, yeah, Cherry Waves, and then like just like a lot of that kind of. Yeah, and then like Sex Tape and stuff like that. Yeah, they definitely have a lot of shoegazy elements.
Because I was listening to this album and I was like, damn, this really reminds me of like Deftones. And I'm like I'm decently familiar with Deftones. I don't know. I'm not like super like into them, but I'll definitely listen to them if I'm like feeling it. So I feel like that was kind of like my first experience with like this, I don't know, this type of music. I like rock and I like metal, but I just don't really like, I wouldn't choose it out of a crowd, I think.
Right.
This album I was really excited for, just because I saw like their picture of them, and I hate to judge a book off a cover, but
they look fucking awesome.
They look
right?
so cool.
Yes.
Like I was looking at them and I was like, okay, like I'm gonna like it, you know. And then I saw like the album cover, like I'm looking at the album cover right now, and it's like, damn, like it's perfect. Like,
yeah.
It really, you know, and I'm like kind of bad at like listening to super long albums, besides like the Cardi one, obviously, but like
30 fucking tracks.
But like I'm really bad at listening to super long albums, I think, because I'll always listen to like the first half and then I won't get to the last half.
Yeah.
So I was really excited that this one was short, especially because it was like my first one, because I was like, God, what if I like hate it?
So for like an
tracks.
hour. Yeah.
But it was only like 5 of them, so I was really excited. But I loved it.
Nice.
Like I really enjoyed it. Added some of them to my playlist, not to like.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. Are we going track by track?
We can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have notes for each track to kind of like lead off everything, but I do want to touch on their look. You said like just looking at them, that's something I glossed over. I had it in my notes, but to prep, I saw that they had an Audio Tree live performance, so I kind of like watched through it a bit, and I'm just like, man, they look like some rock stars. Seriously, like the dudes are, at least in the Audio Tree performance, they're in like workwear, like, you know, button-up shirts and stuff like that, and like the gals, they've got their low-rise jeans and tank tops accessorized like to the nines. They're using Jazzmasters, which is just like a symbol and icon of shoegaze music, is like the Jazzmaster guitar by Fender. So I'm like, they just look the part, and I'm like, yeah, like
I love when you can
it.
like look at somebody and look at the music they make and like it makes sense.
It just makes sense.
Like I hate when like you can tell that they're really trying to like be the music that they make, but I feel like with them it's kind of like they just look it, and then their music like supports that, and I love that. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. So let's go track by track. I'll start us off. The intro, Shut Me Down, I believe it's called. Okay, I just want to say I think it's a very interesting choice to start off your EP with just an instrumental, like a 5-minute long instrumental, no lyrics, no vocals whatsoever. It's just raw guitar, drums, and bass. But I really fuck with that. I really, really enjoyed that. I thought it was like pretty crazy.
Yeah, at first this one kind of like turned me off a little bit, because I listened to it and it was like the first like 2.5 minutes were just like the same kind of and like I was like, oh, okay, like it was like good, you know, and then it got to a minute and I was like, okay, and then it got to 2 minutes and I was like, okay, and then it kind of got to like 2 minutes, like 2.5 minutes, and it like changed. And I was like, oh, okay.
Like it kind of clicks.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I feel like it kind of sets the stone for the whole album.
Yeah.
It really like sets like what it's gonna be, like kind of what they're all about, and I really love that. I feel like intros are like the most important thing for an album, because it's a lot of times like obviously it's the first song that people listen to. Like I listen to albums in order. I never really shuffle them, because I listen to it how it's like supposed to be, the way
God intended.
Yeah, and so I feel like it's a really interesting thing to do, just like a 5-minute instrumental for the first one, you know. I feel like it takes like a strong person to get past that.
It does. And I was gonna say, I was like, especially if it's your first time listening to shoegaze music, like just fucking no vocals at all. It doesn't give you a whole lot to latch onto at first, which is why I think it's such an interesting choice. But this is kind of a funny little personal tidbit, but I didn't realize the song had no vocals until like the last minute, and then I was like, wait, I haven't heard a single lyric, because shoegaze music, like the lyrics are obviously there and there's, you know, meaning and intention behind them, but you know, in a typical like shoegaze mix, the whole thing is that it's very spacey. It sounds like it's like in the back of everything. You can't really hear it most of the time. So like my brain was just like, yeah, I'm getting into this, and I was like, wait, have they not said a single
Yeah.
word? And so I re-listened to it, and then I was like, holy shit, yeah, there's not a single lyric. So I thought that was interesting. But when I hear this song, I think it would be an incredible like opener for a concert, like
Yeah.
at a small venue, like no lyrics, no nothing. They don't introduce themselves, like.
I love that you think like that because I also think like that
Mhm.
too. Like,
And when I listen to like any like guitar focused music or just like bands, I'm always like, what would this be like live?
yeah.
And so this song, like, I feel like would be incredible live. Like they're on stage, because also like a venue like this is probably gonna be like dark and like moody, so like you can barely really see them, and then maybe the lights just like come up a little bit and they just like bam, bam,
Yeah.
bam, just get into it. No intro, no nothing.
It's so like messy. Like I
Mhm.
love it's just so messy.
Absolutely. And I like how you say like at the kind of 2-minute mark, the song like opens up a
Yeah.
bit, and it like the kind of tempo switches a bit. The intro, right, when it's just like that thumping, like bam, bam, I just imagine myself like head banging like on barricade, like
Yeah.
ripping it like to shreds.
Yeah.
But then like when it really like opens up and mellows out, it just feels like I'm like going down like an elevator like to the underworld or something like that. And I just imagine like demons flying around and there's like lava bubbling and popping beneath me. Like that's the vibe it gives me.
Yeah. It just makes me like uncomfortable almost, but in like a good way. I love music that
Mhm.
kind of like pushes those boundaries and like makes you uncomfortable. And that one, the opener definitely like made me uncomfortable. Like when it got to 2 minutes, I was like, God, my stomach kind of hurt. Listen to this. Like, I'm like,
Guys, I'm
fuck,
scared.
like, I'm a little
Mom,
bit
pick me
worse.
up.
Yeah, mom, come pick me up. What is this? But I'm like really glad that I stayed though, because it just gets better from here.
Yeah. And so the next track,
Mhm.
All Tied Up, I'm just going to shout out Aura again. I know this is one of her favorites. She says she loves this song.
Mhm.
And this
Oh
one,
my God. I put it's my favorite too.
There
God.
we go.
Or we're
Bond-
so locked in. Like-
twin-ums. But I think if I'm not mistaken, to maybe fact check me and show their Spotify top 5. But I'm pretty sure All Tied Up, I think, is their biggest song. I think
Is it?
It definitely was the breakout on the EP for sure.
Mhm.
I think it's their #1 song, has the most like streams or whatever. But this one is super, super fun. It has a very classic shoegaze drum intro. Like a million songs
Yeah.
start like this, like the kss, kss.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the intro really like took me in because like
Mhm.
this intro compared to the first intro, I was like, damn, they really like switched it up
Yeah,
completely.
they
Like
build
they
it up,
changed it.
yeah.
And this one it felt so like when I think about like shoegaze music, I feel like this is what I think of. Like
Mhm.
that,
That
Yeah.
like
And then
cymbals
it just, like,
crashing. yeah,
fucking
and
just
I was
goes
gonna
into
say
it.
you just know that drops like
Yeah.
about to like come in
Yeah.
like crazy. And specifically, I love the way that what's her name? Let me get this right. Richie, yeah. Richie's vocals come in with the bass and the guitar, and
Yeah,
it sounds like so
immediately.
muddy, and she just kind of like slides into it in this like really weird way that kind of creates this bit of dissonance where it sounds almost out of tune but like with intention, and it kind of like whoa, like warps you for a
Yeah.
second, and then you like nestle into like the groove that they're like setting. And I was just like, oh, I just like the way that she like layers her vocals with like that thick drop.
Yeah. I love how it's almost like so slow. And I love a song that'll like challenge me a little bit, like with my like rhythm and like my like headbanging, like
Mhm.
kind of when you listen to a song and it's like immediately there's a beat and immediately you can like sway your head to it or like tap your foot to it. I
Right,
feel like
yeah.
this song, when I listened to it at first, I like couldn't really like for the first like 30 seconds I couldn't really like get that beat, and I
Mhm.
love that because it was like it really like challenged me a lot, and it was like I expected it to be slow, especially with that like build up
Mhm.
and that like just traditional like hit of the beat. I expected it to be so like fast, like
Mhm.
especially like the first song too. This is like the first thing I'm like listening to with this type of music, so I expected
Mhm.
it to be fast, but the fact that it just came in so like slow and like almost like melancholy, I don't know, it just
Yeah.
felt so like weird.
Yeah,
I just loved it. Yeah.
I definitely get that.
Mhm.
Let me see. Did I have anything else to say on this? Oh yeah. So kind of circling back to like the vocal layering, some homework for you if you like this and want to know the culture. Right behind me, Loveless. In pretty much any interview or article or anything about Glixen, they're very, very open, like very transparent about their influences. And obviously, #1 is My Bloody Valentine. And I think the part where you can hear it the most is in the vocals, because the way that Richie harmonizes with herself, like you have the main vocal, but you can kind of hear her like soft underneath, hitting like almost like a slightly like undertone, and then like a kind of like a higher pitch. So there's like, it sounds like it's clashing, but they're all like singing together at the same time. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know how else to describe it, but it's very Belinda Butcher, who's like the main vocalist for My Bloody Valentine.
Mhm.
Her and Kevin Shields, but Belinda Butcher was always better in my opinion. Whoa. But yeah, it just reminded me so much of that. So I appreciated that influence on that track. So going into number 3, Silk Silent. Am I getting that right?
I thought it was Avoid.
Oh yeah. I skipped one. I skipped
Avoid.
one. Avoid, yeah. I will say this one wasn't fully for me.
Really?
I think this one sounds like very... Well, I don't know. I loved it still. It's shoegaze music, so like my bar is pretty low. But I would say like if I had to pick one that's a little weaker for me, it was probably this one, just because it sounded kind of stereotypical Gen Z shoegaze, if that makes sense. Like Wisp is one of my favorite artists right now. She's like a Gen Z shoegaze artist. And it kind of like sounded like, you know, that style, but just not as good. And I think like after the first 2 tracks, I maybe wanted something a little more exciting from the third. And I feel like this one just kind of just kept the energy going, which is good. But I wanted just like a little more, kind of like a hump, you know, in that kind of middle spot of the album.
I think it's interesting that you're thinking like that, because for me, this marks the middle of the album, the complete middle. And I feel like for me, when it's the middle of the album, I kind of want something like almost like an intermission, I guess, is how I see it. Okay. You know, like a little kind of something where I can like take into what just happened and like really think about it. And I feel like this one being so like slow and like just like thick almost. I don't know how to explain it other than just like thick. It kind of like, it was nice for me to hear that and just be like, damn, like almost like I can breathe for a minute. Like it feels like for the first 2 songs I was like running a marathon, and then for this one I was walking and I was like damn, like that's crazy. And I actually really loved this one. I like the build up for it too, because it was like such a like insanely like sick build up, and then it just hit and I was like, okay, kind of like the other one. Like I was expecting it to be like, you know, like hit me again, but it was just so like, I don't know, I felt like I was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that perspective. I think that's definitely a cool way to look at it.
And I love the ending too. I don't know if you wrote anything about the ending, but the ending was like that dragged out like,
yeah, like that feedback. Yeah,
I love
it's
that.
such a shoegaze like trademark. Is just like letting the feedback and just like kind of take the track out.
I noticed that throughout the album too. They did that a lot,
and I'm gonna eat that up every single time.
I don't care who. I don't care.
And I love it too, because there's like an art to feedback, like to even really produce like that sound. It's kind of like a methodic mistake, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. It's just like there's just something about like you put your guitar up to the amp and get that feedback like.
Yeah, I love that though.
So good. It is a good outro. And in my notes I did put it sounds like an edit song, like that kind of like like I imagine like,
you know, like the Prem edits.
You
know, the ones that Isaac shows.
Yeah, that's like the vibe.
The Iron Man. Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Yeah, or like BoJack Horseman monologue or whatever. Like Rehab was supposed to be a fresh start. So I do like that about it. I did put as like, sounds like a good edit song. So TikTok editors, maybe please go crazy.
Jump on that.
Hop on Glixen. Trust. But yeah, are we ready into the next one?
Yeah.
Six Silent?
Six Silent. Yeah.
Okay. So what I liked about this one is how they, like, again, shoegaze is very like vocals in the back, like kind of washed out, just like, you know, not really the center, more just so like another instrument, like kind of added on to layers. But I feel like this song really puts the vocals on the forefront, and you can really like hear Richie's voice and all the nuances and complexities of it, which is something that like I really, really liked. And like the animation, like on Spotify, like the background while you're listening to it is like her like performing, you know, but you can barely see her because it's like lights like kind of flashing on her in the darkness. And I'm like, this song just sounds like that. Like I would definitely be at a live show and that's what it would look like. And I think this song definitely like captures that vibe.
Yeah, the vocals were like the first thing that I noticed. I think for the most part when I listen to a song, that's kind of what I noticed at first, is like the vocals and the lyrics of it. But it's like it was different, and I liked it. Like it was different from the other ones because it was so like high pitched, whereas the other ones, it's the same voice, but I love the range that she can do. And this one was more like high pitched and like dreamy and kind of like whispery, I guess, almost. And it felt super like feminine, I think. Yeah. And I feel like shoegaze for me, like at least this whole album, because that's the only kind of only shoegaze that I know, but like this album for me kind of like felt very feminine. Yes. I don't know. I also have synesthesia though, so it kind of played into that too, and it just felt very like purple and pink and like I don't know why too, because when I
Yeah.
listen to that song without thinking about like the synesthesia aspect of it, it's very like grunge and like man and like you know. But like when I really like think about it, it's just very feminine, and this song kind of like confirmed that for me, I guess, because of her voice is just so like la la la. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
just,
It's like very like youthful and
Yeah.
very like there's like almost like an innocence to it that's like clashing with this like intense like sound, and that's what I love so much about shoegaze music, because anybody who knows me even like a little bit knows that I'm obsessed with Word. They're my favorite band, and so they're like all like male vocals, at least later in their discography, but their early stuff they had a female vocalist with them, and that's like what got me into them at first. Like there's just something about that combo of like the deep like thick distorted guitar sound contrasting with like a higher register female vocal
That's
that
exactly what I wrote down
that
here.
I'm gonna like eat up with fork, knife, bib in my shirt and everything, napkin in the lap, like
sleeves rolled, hair pulled back,
and I hit one like a like while I'm waiting for it.
Yeah.
I just love it, and like I don't know. There's a lot of women in shoegaze, and like I think shoegaze really is like at its best with female vocals. Like I said, Whir is my favorite, and it's like predominantly male vocals, and they do it really well too, obviously. But I don't know. I think it's made for women. Why would a man be there?
Why would a man be there?
I love seeing, and like I don't know. There's just something about the breakdown of it. Like I don't want to simplify it down to like punk rocker chick, but it's like obviously like rock and stuff is like very male dominated a lot of times, and so it's just like so cool to see like a feminine or like a traditionally feminine touch brought to that, and like just kind of how they contrast but also like fit together like two pieces of a puzzle like so well.
Yeah, I was writing about the contrast of it, like that clear like soft feminine vocals with like that hard like just gross drum. Like I don't know how to explain like the drum and the guitar like together as just like nasty. Like it's just gross. Like whenever it just reminds me of like when there's gum on the bottom of your shoe. Like it's just gross.
That's such an interesting I've never thought about it like that once, but it somehow makes so much sense.
Yeah, it's like just gum on the bottom of your shoe, like stepping in like thick like grass that was just watered. Like I don't know, it's just so like thick, and then with her little la la la, like it was just and then I love the beginning. It was like towards the beginning, I think, when it like cuts out for a little bit and then it just goes in and then it cuts out for a little bit and then it goes back in and hits with the vocals, and it was just so like it was like a like almost like a teaser, like, oh, this is what you're about to get, just kidding, but now this is what you're actually getting. Like it was just kind of like a holding candy out for a kid and then just like taking it away and then giving it back
and then throwing like a king size at them or something.
It was so good though. I loved that part.
And actually I do want to circle back. You said like those like nasty drums, and that's something I had in my notes too, but I think I glossed over it. But Kiri Johnson on the drums, it's like so like raw, and like obviously like cymbal work is like a big part of shoegaze music, like that kind of like, I don't know, just like adding like another like washy reverby sound to it. But like I think drums and shoegaze music are like deceptively simple, you know what I mean? Like the beat itself isn't too crazy, but like a shoegaze drummer, and I think Kiri Johnson specifically has it to a science, like on their first two EPs, it's just like knowing when to like hold that space, drop that cymbal, maybe hit a tom to add like a lower like thum thum thum, like just like go crazy. And like I think the drums are definitely like a core piece of Glixen sound, and so I love that you pointed out, because I forgot to mention it. Circle back. Drummer is like absolutely like earning their paycheck 100%. And also too on this song, like I was just talking about how like I love like the female vocal, you know. But this track we have like a male vocalist joining in at the end, kind of like as like it's like very quietly mixed in, so it's not the forefront. Like Richie is still like her vocals are front and center, but you have, I'm not sure who it is, I'm guessing it's the other guitarist, but you have like those male vocals like no, like adding this like raspy drony sound that I think complements her so well. And I like when they do that. Men's role in shoegaze should be to be a raspy undertone to like the higher register vocal, but I did like that. It reminded me a lot of Word. That's
what I noticed that part either.
It's like very quiet in the mix. I had my noise canceling on, spatial Dolby audio, like everything locked in.
Spatial awareness was not there.
So it's like really in there, but I liked it because again it reminded me of Word. That's like why I love their sound so much, is because their vocals are very like like it sounds like it's like barely even like escaping their throat,
Yeah.
and that's what this song is kind of bringing with like that male vocal. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Love that.
that's that track.
Last track.
Yeah, Lick the Star.
Yeah. Okay.
Crazy
I know,
name.
First of all, crazy. I know that I said that me and Orna had the same. Me and Orna had the same favorite, All Tied Up. But I actually take everything back that I said, and I revoke everything that I said.
Sorry, Aura. Later,
I think
bozo.
that Avoid is incredible. But now that I'm looking at the notes, filling up half of my page on here, it's kind of like
Dang.
a. Come on, like this is my favorite.
Okay. Start us off, yeah. Please.
I loved this song. When I listened to it, I was kind of like sad that it ended like this because I was like, damn, I want more of this. Like I need more of this. And I also just love contrasting with the opener of the album and the closing track of the album, and I feel like the two contrast each other so perfectly and so like it was just so crazy for me to go back because I listened to the last track and then it kind of looped back, like it played the album again.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like the intros are like completely different. Like this intro was so like dreamy and soft and melancholic.
Oh yeah.
And then the intro for the first one was like a no. And it was so cool to like start it off like that and then just kind of like end it with just like a and then the song is still like it still has
it
some,
fucks. Yeah,
it
bangs.
fucks definitely. Like it gets in there, but
Yeah.
that intro contrast was just the first thing that like stood out to me, and I just ate that shit up bad, like hair pulled back. I ate it up. It was so good. So yeah, I love
that's
that
such an
intro.
interesting. Honestly, hadn't even really like stopped to think about that, but yeah, the intro like to the whole album is so aggressive. Like snare drum is punching the side of your head, like.
Literally.
But then this one, and it's a 2-minute long intro too, which again I think is something that I really like about Glixen. Is like it's also just another element of shoegaze, but I think the way they implement it is just giving space, like not rushing it. Like it's only 5 songs, but each song on there is like 5 minutes or like 4 minutes, so they're really like take their time to like lure you in, make you think you know what's gonna happen, and then they hit you with that like classic shoegaze like drop. But what I wrote was like it's just again like so ambient, so spacious on this song at the start. It made me imagine a like foggy mystical wood, like
Dude, I said the exact same
with
thing.
like little hills that I'm walking up, and there's like moss on everything, and it's like or like either that or like a complete 180. It also makes me think of like Silent Hill, like creepy town, like there's nobody around, you're just like walking through and you hear this like like this like just like ambient lead. And then when I first listened to this song for the like when I was going through the EP, like after that intro there's like the little break there, and it's just like reverb, so I was like okay, cute. It's like a little outro. I literally thought the song was over.
Yes, exactly.
And then bam, like it just like drops like crazy.
It was so good. And I feel like the layers that they like slowly introduce throughout the song is just so like cool to me. Like I feel like I just love when it kind of starts out with like the vocals, and then it adds like a guitar, and then it adds the drum, and then it just all goes crazy at once. And it's like, damn, like I got to meet each of you, and then I got to meet you all together, and it was like that. It was just insane, because I feel like from that point on it was so much easier to like dissect the layers, because I heard them like at like by themselves first, and I loved that. But yeah, I put my notes said angelic ass voice, because it was just so like, damn, like I don't know, I was just listening to it and I was like I want her to like sing to me at like while I sleep.
Right,
like, it was crazy. And the drop that you like brought up, that kind of stopped for a minute and then just dropped. The song, actually, I was listening to it with the exact same headphones and noise cancellation, no spatial awareness, and it actually like scared me. Like I remember I was like in my room and that like drop hit, and I was like, damn, like whoa. I was not expecting that.
You can look at my notes. A literal note I made was "wake the fuck up" in all caps. That's like
wake the fuck up.
That's like what it felt like. It's like I deadass got tricked. I thought the song was over. I wasn't looking at my phone or anything. So it's like, wow, like what a nice little like bookend. Bow! And then it like I was like, holy shit! It probably scared me a little bit too, I think, when I first listened to it. But and it's just like, oh, I forgot to mention too, I have it in my notes, but it's like, so the intro like spaces out, and then it's like just like the reverb of the guitars like washing over you, and then I forgot that like before the drop, it's like the feedback screech, like, Yeah, I forgot about that right now.
Yeah,
I forgot about that though. But yeah, that screech, like, oh, it's so wicked and sinister and evil
Yeah.
in all the right ways. But yeah, and then also just the chord progression on the song. It has like a very like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what tuning this song is in, but at least to me, it sounds like drop D tuning, which is basically the bass string is like the E string. You tune it a whole step down, so it's like a lot thicker. And so what it allows you to do is you can kind of get these chords where like the first two strings are like really deep and like really resonate together, but then the third note in the chord will be like kind of almost in a different octave. So it brings this interesting harmony where you have like a like it sounds like you're going like really high up in register, but it's just like, I don't know for sure if the song's in drop D, but that's what it sounds like. And I just like that kind of chord progression where it's like simultaneously deep and like menacing, but then there's like that just note at the top of it that kind of brings like a little hopeful little like singe to it or whatever. And it reminded me of like a Call of Duty edit. I just imagine like Modern Warfare 2 like 360 YY like flashbang cancel hit marker with like the plus 100, and like I was just like imagining like the swirl edit and stuff like that. It just sounds like older brother music. Obviously I'm the older brother, but like I'm like, if I had an older brother,
I feel like you take on that role really nicely though.
Yeah, that's just my vibe. Older brother music is just like
I'm
my
like
playlist.
the younger daughter, like delinquent fucking child.
Yeah, and so it just, I love that sound. It's like simultaneously nostalgic and also new, which is like again kind of Glixen's whole thing. If you watch the audio tree live, Richie kind of talks about her like love for like the sound that got her into the style of music, but she kind of mentions that even as a band they're still working on like making something new out of it. So I think like right now they're definitely very much like in their like My Bloody Valentine kind of like, honestly they're ripping, like a lot of it is just kind of straight ripped off of Loveless, but I really don't mind that because again like I love My Bloody Valentine, but they only have 3 albums and 1 EP since like, the 90s basically, or I guess their self-titled came out in 2013 I think. So like I don't know, but anyways, there's only so much My Bloody Valentine music out there, you know what I mean? You can only really like replay it so many times, so it feels like I'm getting like another taste of it, and I'm really excited to see where they go.
I was gonna say I'm really excited to like listen to them when they've found their footing. I think right now they're just kind of like playing around and like really discovering like the sound that's like true to them, and I feel like they did a really good job at like their first pick, like this is good, and I'm really excited for them to get like more confident with like themselves and their sound for sure.
Because I have to double check this, I have to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure they don't have a full length album out yet. I think it's just the 2 EPs and I think like some singles, so they haven't really like had their official like first like debut album. And so I think when that comes, I think it'll be really exciting. Glixen, if you're watching this, because I know you will.
I know you will. Hey,
but what I really want to see from them moving forward is I want to see a little more like energy, or like kind of like a little more of like a upbeatness, because like if they love My Bloody Valentine so much, I think one of that band's greatest strengths is like they're obviously known for their like ethereal, like slow melodic, like pretty much inventing the genre. But they also had like a lot of songs that were experimental, even by their standards, where they kind of like, they bring up the tempo a little bit. It's like a little faster paced. I think of, for example, Oh, You Made Me Realize. That's a really great song by My Bloody Valentine, but it's like fast paced. It's like bam, 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 bam. It sounds like almost punky, kind of classic rocky. And so I think that's like a sound or a little more technique I'd like to see from Glixen. They for sure have the slow, melodic, like heavy sound down. I want to see them try to like pick up the pace a little bit and mix it with like, like have more range of feeling, I think, with their albums. Is like what I want to see personally.
I don't know. I mean, this is my first shoegaze, so I'm like eating it up. I ate up every single one of them. I know the last one's kind of slower than the rest of them, and I feel like I'm kind of looking more for that too, though. I feel like I'm like the opposite of you. I kind of want more of that like girly vocals with like that gross drum in the background, that like gum on your shoe, like I feel like
that is such a beautiful quote. That's gonna stick in my brain, like gum in my brain.
Like I think I need more of that. So I don't know, I'm really excited. I'm gonna go on like a little deep dive of them, I think. And
I have homework for you. If you want slow melodic, I'm sending you an album by Where. I put it in my top 10, but you have to listen to the album. Anybody who's ever going to be friends with me has to listen to this album. So I'm going to send it to you later and make sure you listen. Because this album by Where specifically is like, I think you will love it because it's all that. It's like very slow with the heavy drops. And it's Wur's last album, so I think like they were kind of at their peak. So they have just like a wide range of like technique and progression and stuff like that. And so to me, that album is like the pinnacle of like 2010s shoegaze. And so I would love to see Glixen kind of have something on that caliber. So I'll send it to you, and you can tell me what you think later.
I love music that makes me feel like I need to smoke a cigarette out in the cold.
Dude, the album cover is like, it's like blue and stuff like that. So it gives you like,
Yeah,
so.
the album covers, I feel like, for different ones, because I was like doing research about like different shoegaze albums, and the album covers,
they get
I don't know,
wild.
I feel like they're like unmatched.
Yeah,
like I
even,
feel like they do
just
it.
This one, like,
yeah, they do it like the best, honestly. Like it's just so, they do a really good job, I think. At,
and
like,
for
pairing
context,
it.
this right here is, it's obviously like edited to shit, but this is a Jazzmaster guitar, so you can kind of see like the soap bar pickup that they're known for, but it's just like washed out like crazy. And so yeah, I think like this image, I think also too is what makes this album so iconic, is this is just what shoegaze looks like. Like crazy washed out ethereal. So yeah, you have a lot of homework to do, but I'll make sure you're studying for sure. We'll check
I need
in
to study.
But yeah, I
think
mean,
that's it.
That's pretty much it. I don't know how long this episode ran. It might be a shorter one. Who knows? But next week,
our circadian rhythm though is like killer. So I feel like we stop it at the exact same time.
Yeah, that is true. We don't time them at all. Like the recording is going, but we can't see it at all. We just kind of freeball
our
it.
circadian rhythm's crazy.
What's your guess? How long do you think we ran?
I'm gonna say 46.
46. I'm gonna say 48:37.
Oh.
2 flash of the timestamp right now. I don't know. I'm gonna say 48:37. I don't know.
46.
Imagine if it was like 20 minutes. We're like, like our internal rhythm is just like
we're just so good. Like we're fucking pros.
Yeah, there's like fucking 15 minutes. So.
I forgot to mention though,
yes.
Frank Ocean snippet came out. You
break
got
this,
homework. You got homework too.
Break this down for me. What is this?
Yeah, the Frank Ocean snippet dropped. He's dating a wrestler named Peyton. A wrestler? Fuck, UFC? I don't know. Fighter? Something
a fighter,
like that.
yeah.
You know that one song that's like, my guy, Chanel. My guy, pretty like Chanel.
I might have heard that one.
And he got fight stories to tell. It's about the same guy, Peyton.
See both sides of
Chanel, yeah, crazy.
Damn.
But yeah, his, what's it called? Peyton, like, put out like a little video. I don't know. Okay, don't come for me because I might be wrong. Don't come for me. Burn me at the stake. But I think Peyton put out like a video or something, and it had like a Frank Ocean snippet in it. I can't really sing it right now because I forgot it. Damn, I forgot. I forgot it. However, it's incredible. And I'm just saying. Also, Radiohead album just dropped.
No fucking what?
Yeah, well, it's like the Bends, but like songs that they recorded during the Bend, so they're kind of like remixes too.
Oh,
but I'm just saying, so help me God, if I get Drake, Cardi, Radiohead, and
God.
Frank all in the same year, I'm gonna be unstoppable, insufferable. I think we're gonna have to stop the podcast because that's all I'm gonna be talking about.
Yeah.
It's
and
insane.
Drake for you,
and
for you only.
Yeah.
But yeah, is 2025 low key goaded?
Yeah.
For music.
2020 vision, City Boys
Winning.
winning. Coppino's bullshit,
Bitch, we
twinning.
Yeah.
So 2025 is the year, basically. Frank, if you're watching this,
and
Soundcheck,
Soundcheck in 25. Wow, y'all are eating so good.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. YW. Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you, Low Void. So remember, next week is gonna be fucking crazy. We're gonna have the
Tune in
the Cardi Council. Without spoiling too much, Taylor and I have been avoiding talking about the Cardi album like the plague because we want to save it all for next week's episode. But I don't know. It could be the end of Soundcheck. We might break up after this. It could be fucking over. This shit is gonna be Soundcheck Civil War.
Civil War's crazy.
Yeah. Are y'all Team Cap or Team fucking Iron Man? Let me know.
Yeah, I'm Team Iron Man.
Yeah. All I'm saying is I got Spidey on my side.
Damn.
Oh, I was gonna say who the guest is. I can't say.
No.
I can't say, but Collegian Cooldown fans. Even though we're beefing with the Cooldown.
Yeah, low key we're beefing.
Yeah.
But
This might bring world peace between
you.
Wow.
But it might
all right, tune in.
Up
This
the
shit
beef.
This shit's gonna go crazy next week. Goodbye, Void.
Bye.